Hello, my name is Vince Faney, and I am the author of the book Zen and the Art of Resistance Training. I wrote that book years ago because of the many benefits that I saw, both mentally and physically, by integrating mind and body. Give a little history of myself. I've reached world-class level of performance and various rep ranges. We're using various weights. And also studied for years exercise, been studying exercise physiology, sports medicine, anatomy and physiology, kinesiology, pursuing a degree in biomedical engineering, and I've also studied a lot of sports psychology. Also put it into practice on myself. Obviously, that's why I've been able to perform at such high levels despite my average genetics and less than optimal leverages. And even recently, I've beaten Larry Allen's NFL record with the 225 pounds. He's done 43 reps 2 years in a row. Until Steve Piea came around, and he's before he got into the NFL, Steve, while he was in college, at the body weight of 330 pounds, did 225 pounds for 49 reps. I've done 62 reps in 60 seconds at the body weight of 180 when I was in my 40s. Right now I'm headed towards 56. And just this past summer, I did 57 reps, and that couldn't get that back on a video. Couldn't access that video, and I redid it after a week of having a flu, and did 46 reps. They were tough. The first several were pretty light, but the last several I thought I re-injured my shoulder because I've still have shoulder issues, although it's much better, but still have shoulder issues from a severe car accident I got in 2 years ago. So not only am I on the comeback trail fighting massive injuries in old age, still was able at my body weight at 200 pounds and still being I'm a little overweight, and at my late age with no steroids or bench shirt, beat Larry Allen's record. I did 230 pounds for 46 reps. Okay, so anyways, I wanted to talk about some of the issues that people wonder about concerning like in chapter 4, the chapter's titled The Holistic Benefits of Weightlifting, Weight Training. We have many facts, many myths, and basically some of the, basically there's a whole range of positive benefits. The benefits can range from improving your appearance and self-esteem, your health and conditioning, weight control, improves your mental focus and discipline, and some newly discovered bonuses are the slowing of the aging process, even reversing it. You know, when I got in the accident, I went from a very young looking 42, I got pretty old looking in the 2 years of being sedentary and injured, and of course my lifestyle became very sedentary, and I ate too much pizza, so all that I looked older than what I was. And now there's people who think that I, once again, I still look older than I did in my 40s. A lot of people are surprised to find out that I'm going on 56. And I hope that we continue to reverse this process. Now, in addition to all this, you'll be able to balance, in my mind, the chakras and energy centers of the body, once thought to be accessed only through Eastern disciplines. And we have all this good stuff that's going on, and I'll be getting you in touch with very little known modalities for getting in touch with your higher self and how it impact your life. I want to use weightlifting to get into Zen states, to access the power of the now, and weight training will help you increase the likelihood of experiencing mystical states. Now let's talk about some of the facts and myths. Now some of the myths are, if you lift weights, you'll become muscle bound. That used to be what people thought when I was in school, and of course that has been thrown out the window. But now people say, no, they found out you will not become muscle bound. I gotta give one caveat to that. If you lift incorrectly, and your lifting is one-dimensional, yes, you can become muscle bound. But if you lift correctly and so forth, that won't happen. If you lift weights, a myth, you'll become slower. That is a myth. Although if you lift incorrectly, you can become slower if your lifting is one-dimensional. It will make you slower. However, if you avoid all the errors of that would make you slower, there's no better exercise, no better type of training that will make you faster. None. Bar none. There's just none. You develop blinding speed. A myth is if you lift weights, you'll become too large and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, let me say this. With the old conventional methods that people were afraid to do because they thought they'd get like Arnold, using those self-same methods, Arnold had trouble looking like Arnold. Arnold ate a ton of calories, highly nutritious meals, even admittedly took steroids. Now, Arnold didn't say, he said he didn't need steroids to get his size, but he used steroids to keep his size as he was cutting in weight and increased his training for competition. Now, the fact is, Arnold did not train. He did marathon workouts, from what I understand, but he did not train in all the methods that I advocate. I will say this: if you train the way the conventional training, most people will have a hard time. It's not like they gets gets out of control. And there are ways of lifting, standard ways of lifting. If you don't want to get big, and you want to get your size up to a certain amount of size, your body up to a certain size, you don't have to worry about it. However, I will say if you lift the way I lift, doing all the things that I advocate, you could actually suffer. And I just want to say this, I'm not kidding, you could actually suffer from runaway muscular growth. And so the one thing that I have to do, my type of lifting actually stimulates the body to be more thrifty with calories, puts you more in a survival mode, so you just don't really need as many calories, as much nutrients as most people thought. But if I get a little relaxed, too relaxed on my calories and start indulging and eat as much as most people, I actually get, I'll just put on size like unbelievable in an unbelievable short amount of time, even at my age, without steroids. So I want to say that's not necessarily a myth if all things are done in a specific fashion. Now, I would advocate that you could reach the level, I'm asserting you could reach the level of world-class strength in various rep ranges and methods of lifting and stay slim. But you got to really kind of, you got to kind of keep your eating under control. Now, another myth is if you lift weights and then quit, all that muscle will turn into fat and become flabby. That is not true under any circumstances. If you lift weights and quit like I did, I had to quit because of an accident. Yes, I became sedentary. And since I became sedentary, now when you put on muscle naturally, if you put it on without steroids, the longer you hold on to your muscle, the longer you've had your muscle, you earn it the hard way. You earn it without steroids, and the longer you keep it, your strength and muscle, the slower it is to lose, even when you become sedentary. However, eventually, there is entropy, there is chaos. You start slowly losing it over time. And because you become sedentary, you're not burning as much calories, you're not exerting yourself, you will become fat and flabby. It's at least you'll be more prone to it. I'm not saying it's a given. Another myth, if you lift weights, it will ruin your joints or make you more susceptible to injury. It can. Weightlifting can, if you're done improperly, weightlifting can be one of the most dangerous things you can do to yourself if you do it improperly. You can literally cripple yourself forever. But if you do it properly, you could actually improve your joints. I know people who lift weights and it gets rid of their arthritis. They have tendencies toward arthritis and they've helped to rebuild their cartilage, some people. And it's me, I had torn rotator cuffs and from the accident, weightlifting brought my joints back, and my shoulders don't bother me near as much as they used to. And it also could help you more stave off injury. It can make your bones denser. It just makes you tougher. If you lift weights, many people think that you're an insecure narcissist and that you'll become too identified with your body. Well, you know what? I know people who don't lift weights, don't do anything, and they are narcissists anyways, and they are identified with how fat they are, how slim they are, or whatever. So that's not necessarily true. Lifting weights is supposedly bad for your heart. Old myth. And that's a myth, unless you have a pre-existing heart condition. And now many cardiologists are saying that certain types of heart problems, and they put you on a moderate lifting program to help force more blood in the thoracic cavity to help the heart to heal. And check with your doctor, though, if you have heart problems. If you train with weights, you'll need to stay on a special diet. That's rubbish. The biggest thing to making gains on from weightlifting is to how you weightlift. Now, you do need a minimal amount of protein for maintenance and repair. If you don't get enough protein for maintenance and repair, Every day you have a shortage of protein is a day that you age prematurely, but most people do not need the high levels of protein that a lot of bodybuilders think they need. And so the facts are, weightlifting done properly will not make you muscle bad if you do it right. It'll actually increase your flexibility if you lift the full range of motion. Okay, will not make you slow. It can increase your strength ratio if you keep your strength ratios up. I mean, Bruce Lee used it to help increase his speed and power. And you know, so all that being said, there's a lot to be. There's really. There's just a lot to benefits from weightlifting, and just those myths are pretty much thrown out. I want to talk about Dr. Fred C. Hatfield, PhD, in his book, The Power of Scientific Approach. The Power of the Scientific Approach. He talks about conditions of his heart, which was as good or better shape than most marathon runners. Dr. Fred Hatfield's main passion is powerlifting and anything associated with the sport. He has been and is an elite level lifter and a world record holder in several weight classes. Now, most people would find this amazing if they knew that dead Fred Hatfield is almost 50 years of age. This was at the time. He's much older now. And he almost never does any sort of aerobics. So you don't need special or intensive diets to progress weight. All you need is a well-balanced diet, okay? Now, I just want to say this, a quote from Edmund Spencer. "It is a mind that maketh good of ill, that maketh wretched or happy, rich or poor." So just take that into consideration, and I will see you at chapter 15. Thank you so much.